Yeah, peace and love to the royal family. Y'all tuned in to another episode of the Lord's Business Visionary Elite Call, hosted by your truly the visionary leaders of society. We pretty much the umbrella of the program of visionary leader. The mission is to eliminate economical and financial illiteracy within our community. And we want to do that by implementing a program to kind of teach our people in our communities and our family to better be stewards and understanding people of the institution of money as it relates to currency, business ventures, i.e. and etc. Without further ado, tonight we're going to be getting into a powerful topic. Man, the brother, my other co-host, Lord Buck, you know what I'm saying? We're going to be getting into another call with y'all, but we're going to get into another powerful call. Tonight we're going to be discussing white privilege and how do we fit in right now as people of color, as minority, as black, as African American, so forth and so on. Like, what's our end? Like, where do we stand on? How do we combat this beast or this demon, this devil, Satan, Satan, or what have you? And we're gonna get into a full conversation on that note, family. And before we get into the Israelites, we wait our brother Lord Bart to come on. I was asking myself the question, like pondering on this. What is white privilege? A lot of time it kind of goes synonymous or runs hand in hand with white supremacy. Peace and love, brother. I think it's our brother Lord Buck on.
Yeah, peace and love, bro. Peace and love to everybody under the sound of my voice.
Peace and love, bro. I was just getting into it, like, in my mind, like, I was just speaking on, like, white privilege. I know for me, a lot of times I hear white privilege, it kind of goes hand in hand with white supremacy. Like, what's your definition, big bro, beloved, of white privilege, and how do you, how you understand, how you see it? Like, what's your definition of it?
Boy, being able to get things nobody else can get just because you was born a certain skin tone. White folks can do a million things we can't do simply because they white. I mean, it don't matter how high a black person get in life or what he achieved or what he accomplished. Man, it'll always be a white that's beneath him intellectually, materially, socially, or whatever, but he would always have the advantage simply because he white.
Peace and love. Hey, peace and love. I'm going to leave everybody mics open, but we're going to come back to a little Q&A at the end and it periodic through the conversation. But if you ain't speaking, please put your phone on mute so we can have a silent and tranquil recording. But definitely, you know what I'm saying, go ahead and finish out your thought, bro. You were just saying, like, being able to get everything, get a lot of access to things just based off the color of your skin.
Yeah, and hey, believe this, ain't no such thing as no black privilege. Because being President Obama, he still wasn't able to do certain things. Exactly.
And I was just did a little research earlier, just refreshing my mind on it. I mean, a lot of times we just become numb to the concept of white privilege or white supremacy. We just kind of come numb to it. We just move like automatons in society. And I was just going back, even when I moved to Atlanta, a lot of the jobs and stuff I was getting like warehouse jobs. Like, I got a degree. I know a lot of my co-workers had degrees and stuff like that. And I done seen it happen on several occasions. No matter what warehouse or job I was at, it'll be like the most skilled black brother, person of color be working his job. He can be a supervisor. They'll bring a white person in. The youngin might be Sakin or somebody that on the coming or something. may not even be some kin, but they'll have that black brother or person of color train him to take his job. Train him to everything, just to have a position higher than him. And that white person might not have no type of degree, no type of skill, no type of extra knowledge as far as when it comes to it. But just because of like you going back to what you were saying, the color of his skin, he was able to get that position. And we just, a lot of us just, we'll talk, noise, be like, that ain't fair, look for an answer, looking for the rainbow in the sky, but I definitely get what you're saying, like having access to certain things just based off the color of your skin. And I was just, like I said, I've been doing my research, like, what do, like you said, I noticed you said, and which bring me to a point, like, what you said, it ain't no such thing as black privilege, minority privilege, what have you, like, still with that understood, like, where do we stand as a person of color, as a black person? Where do we stand in that society that it focus are built on white privilege? Like, where do we stand now? Where you feel like we stand, big bro?
Man, we stand judged and accused because of the color of our skin. We all know that that's a given. You born with that stigma. So now it's to the point, me personally, I don't even worry about white privilege. I don't even worry about what they got and what I don't have. I just know I have to, in order to improve my situation, I got to put myself in a position, man, to be able to capitalize myself. Hey, it's different now than it was back in the days when we couldn't do this, we couldn't do that. Now it's almost, man, we can almost do anything we set out to do. So, man, hey, while we worry about what we don't have and what we'll never get, we missing out on the potential that we got. And that's what I set out to do. Man, educate myself as best I can, make every situation work for me, and capitalize on every situation come my way and try to use it, man, to my advantage.
Exactly, indeed. And definitely, I feel where you coming from. Like, this ain't like back in the day. And I know everybody familiar with the Tulsa, Oklahoma situation of Black Wall Street, but I don't know if a lot of people also familiar with the Philadelphia situation with the Move 9, like with Mama Africa and their whole family, but they created their own community. But still, like, going back to what you were saying, like those two situations with Black Wall Street, you had white people, they felt some type of way about black people being economically free and exercising their business on mine. In both of those situations, the government of the United States of this here America dropped a bomb on two of those cities. It dropped a bomb on that city in Philadelphia with the Move 9, dropped a bomb on Tulsa, Oklahoma, where ones are familiar with Black Wall Street. So going back into that same mentality, like, a lot of, even though all this can't happen like right on the heels, right after slavery, like, we all ways had that entrepreneur mentality, and surely behold, like, it was so many boulders or so many walls and obstacles in our way each and every time. So coming off of those situations, like, we still strive to better our situation. And for somebody outside looking in, like, in their present time, like, I'm on the same wavelength as you, my good brother. Like, I operate the same. I feel like we can do a lot in the present time without worrying about what the white man doing or ain't doing. Like, we need to be independent on ourselves. But what do you say to these brothers and sisters that look at situations like Black Wall Street, or that Move 9 in Philadelphia, or I'm pretty sure it's other scenarios and situations that happen across the country where black people was on the rise and were met with opposition by our own government, and pretty much lo and behold, damage or destroyed that movement that was going on. Like, do we keep pushing on, like, knowing it's a chance we might have to go to war on some different platform, or do we plan and with that mindset to cross all our T's and dot our I's? So how we, you know what I'm saying, how do we move, like knowing that it's a chance that we're gonna be met with opposition?
Yeah. Hey, the world is built on opposition. You got right, you got wrong. You got evil, you got good. You got light, you got dark. There's opposition in every single part of life. But the thing is, how do you prepare yourself for that opposition, and how do you fight against the opposition? Me personally, hey, when it comes, you deal with it. But in the meantime, you don't focus on that. But you always keep in the back of your mind, because consciousness is everything. What they say, signs and symbols is for the conscious mind. So to be conscious and mindful of that, give you ammunition. So you always keep, the biggest problem that I think our people have is pretending it ain't what it is. Pretending this ain't going on. Pretending this ain't happening when that is what it is. So, man, I don't know, man. Hey, I don't know. I just try to do what I can while I can do it. Work while I day, because tonight is coming and you're going to be able to find your way.
Indeed. And I feel the same way, but it's just my mind, like how I move and how I've been programmed to move, like I can't move just off of plan A alone. When I'm moving with my plan A, I'm already creating a plan B, and plan A don't go like how it's supposed to go. So we always got to kind of keep that safety net of that rainy day fund intact. So definitely understand where you're coming from, and touching on another point, like what happened into society, like, and then two phrases I want to put out here. Like one, like what you were saying, is cognitive dissonance. Like cognitive dissonance is a phrase in psychology that breaks down concept, like, which happen or tend to happen in a lot of movements. Like basically it explains, like, when you have been believing in something so long and somebody come with a new idea, new concept, it can shatter your whole belief system to the point that you're going to fight that new idea to hold on to something that ain't even good for you. You're going to fight that new idea that might be beneficial to everywhere in your life. Like, you and I, brother, coming in here, like, with some positive reinforcement, something, tools, some gem that can better another individual life. And if a person off of that cognitive dissonance, they gon' and they own cognitive dissonance, they gonna fight it with every time they get, cause they feel like this ain't what they used to. And I feel you, brother. Like we done been comfortable. We done got comfortable being on the bottom of the totem pole. Like, even though we are in the majority, but we done got comfortable accepting the title of being a minority. And also another phrase I wanna add out here, like, even with civil rights and a lot of stuff, like, it's a phrase that I learned, like, in politics to a certain aspect. It's called period victory, like, meaning that even though we probably won to a certain extent, but the loss in gaining that win was detrimental to our understanding. Even though being the fight to free, being free from slavery was a victory, but it was a period victory because we still under mental slavery. Like, I found out this in classes too, like, when brothers and sisters, after being freed, like, they couldn't get jobs, so they had to turn around and go back and work for their same slave man, probably their same slave master that kind of pay their freedom. They made it hard for us to survive and thrive, but lo and behold, we still made a way. We still made a way out of the jungle, and understanding that, like, going back into the top of white privilege, and capitalize and reiterate what you said, and no such thing as black privilege, and no such thing as a black person being, what's the word, being not racist, but being, what's the Not racist. Prejudice. Yeah, prejudice. Yeah, know what I'm saying? Ain't no such thing as a black person being prejudiced, cause to be president implied that having some type of power. And I definitely get what you're saying. But going back into the topic, like, how do we as a people help our people that help us get out of this situation? Like, that what I'm still trying to understand. I done read a lot of books. I done did a lot of research. I done been on the front line. I done helped grow a few movements here and there, but we still coming back to this same energy, and that is this sleeping giant refusing to be woke up. Like, how do we wake our people up?
Man, hey, it's to the point. Hey, you see it. You see, hey, sad, but it's true. Some people don't want to be helped. Man, look, I got a brother that did 18 years in prison. Okay, he did 18 in her. So the people out there that's been out there to 18 never did prison. So when you come home to them in the same position they was in when you left, and now everybody depending on you, man, I had to tell him, man, no, do you. Bro, you can't save them because they don't want to be saved. So you got to do you. And then when you look at where he is in the little short time since he'd have been out, bro, he ahead of people that's been out there 18 years. Why, he been gone 18 years? Because he came with a focused mindset, and he always say, man, I'm not going to settle for being a regular human being. He know what he want, and he going after what he want. And until people get that mindset that they want this out of life and they going to go get it by any means necessary, man, what can you do? Man, you beating the dead horse. You preaching to the choir.
Exactly.
And don't miss out on your blessing while you trying to wake somebody else up. Hey, remember, we going to use Jonah in the belly of the whale. Jonah was on the ship. Jonah on the ship, sleeping peacefully during the storm. The people on the boat throwing everything away throwing everything overboard that they could have kept. But God wasn't even after them. He was after Jonah. But they went through it because he was in the way. So I'm just saying, you throw away a lot of stuff that you could have kept because you was standing in the way of somebody else that God was trying to get to. So, man, you got to stand out people's way. You got to stand out your way. Stand out God's way. Get what's for you.
Amen. Man, going back into the, you coming in, bro?
Nah, go ahead, bro.
Nah, I was hearing somebody say hello. But yeah, going back into the Bible, man, I seen this scripture, so I forgot if it was saying Acts or something, but it was breaking down with the early Christian movement first popped off, first happened. It was a king talking to the people. People talk. He was talking to one of his council constituents, but he was basically saying that these new Christians over there, these new people, like, man, we gotta deal with them. You know what I'm saying? They causing havoc in our nation. They making a problem for our livelihood. So it was like the wise guy told the king or something, whatever he was, like, if the movement is of God, or if it's of God, like, it how he broke it down for, he said, if the movement is not of God, then, you know what I'm saying, pretty soon it will come to nothing. It'll dissolve on its own. But if it's of God, then you better get out of the way. Just kind of like you said, because you'll find yourself fighting God. And as a man, we can't fight that all-seeing power. We can't fight that omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient spirit. We can't, because God is living. Like, that same spirit is in me and you and everybody on the sound of our voice. It's endowed in all. It's how we get our breath. How do we live our livelihood? So if we fighting against that spirit, like something that's destined for the person, like going back how you Jonah, man, we setting ourselves up for failure. And I'm glad you kind of brought that into the conversation, because a lot of time I feel like through slavery and through colonialism and even integration, like, we lost the true definition of what God is. Like we look for God in the sky, we look for God outside our body. And when we forever looking outside of ourselves for an individual to save himself outside of ourselves, we setting ourselves up for failure. And I'm glad you kind of brought that up, because we got to look within. That same spirit that talked to me in my lonely time, talk to you. It's on your inside. It's in your heart. Like when we tap into that continent, like you broke down in the beginning of the conversation, like we tap into that same energy is within all of us, man. It's in the universe. It's everywhere. Like you can't get around it. Like that spirit, like that empire, that kingdom is like the grains of sand on earth. You can't get around that kingdom, that spirit. Like Marcus Garvey started a movement right on the heels of slavery. Like UNIA, or some people call it UNIL and ACL. And the brother from Jamaica, but he was able to start an international movement off of the slogan, African for the Africans, and people all over the world, black people all over the world took to it. Black people all over the world, from Asia, America, Africa, know what I'm saying, India, black people all over took ownership, took pride in this movement. A lot of our parents and forefathers were Garveyites. A lot of these movement came, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these movement came up on the tools and blueprint that Garvey laid down. We still use that flag today. You still see that RBG flag. You know what I'm saying? Garvey came with that flag. Garvey bought that flag. But that man said he was able to do that before social media. Before you can just go online and see somebody. He was able to do that. Unite black people all over before social media, man. That's a powerful thing. He did it through talking to people's spirit. And man, like man, I'm getting fired up in the spirit, man. Bro, come on back, man. I'm getting fired up. I don't want to take in the church right now. I ain't trying to take in the church. I know it's Sunday though.
Nah, I feel you for real, man. Hey, I feel you, man. Yeah, that's what the business is. That's how we can do, man. Do what we can while we can.
Absolutely. Man, I want to touch on something else, too. Like, I got a few more subtypes of this. Like, affirmative, you know what I'm saying? When affirmative action first came into place, it was kind of, I feel like there was another thing on the hill of like period victory. Affirmative action was the way for corporation to kind of quote unquote fulfill their duty. They'll hire a black person, you know what I'm saying, to meet their quota or having their token black in their company. But affirmative action today is not in favor of the man. Reason why I say it, because it's like with a woman, you getting 2 for 1, and we kind of broke this on the lab. Kind of went a little bit when we were speaking about relationship, but they're more so from a political and civil aspect, how we dealing with this right now. Like affirmative action today, it's like a woman is 2 minorities in one. She black, and she black, which is 1 minority, and she a woman, which is another minority. So they getting 2 for the price of 1. So it's like, even though they feeling they got they token Negro, but they also got a woman. So they kind of mean their quota. So in their present time, it's like they continue to take the man out of the house. And I would look going back and reflecting on the Million Man March. We had I'm talking about the first one where Farrakhan called, like the very first Million Man March was 1 million plus brother came together. But since then, I was looking at the law that changed. They came out of the first Million Man March. They came out with the 3 strikes law. They came out with other scenario law, other different laws that kind of remove the man from the equation. You got Section 8. Some people call it grapple. You got all of the situation aimed at taking the man out of the household. So here we in the present time, you got a sister, she can work 1 job and make twice as much as you working 3 jobs. Might be even 3 times much as you as a strong brother working 3 jobs. And we talking about legitimate hustles right now. We talking about legitimate business. We ain't talking about, I know we got some brother moving on, you know what I'm saying, moving on things called the interstates and stuff like that, which I don't judge nobody. The Bible say judge ye judge ye not unless ye be judged. So I ain't here to cast judgment on nobody. I know everybody in the business are trying to feed their family, but still point taken that in this legitimate quote unquote business structure, like the woman can make 3 times more than a man. And I don't like in a relationship we spoke kind of dealt with it from the relationship last talk, but right now like from a political aspect, like what that do, what that mean. They create from a political aspect, they create that create the energy or idea in a lot of our women that the man ain't really good. Our man ain't good enough. Like they further pushing us back as black man, like we ain't good enough. You know what I'm saying? We ain't capable of taking care of our family, or we ain't sufficient to be the provider of our family, because they making it where we can't physically and legitimately provide for our family without selling ourselves out. I mean, what's your take on the family action in the present day, bro, as it relate to white privilege and some of the things I was talking about?
I mean, okay, let's look at the reality of affirmative action. In our day-to-day basis, in our day-to-day life, affirmative action don't affect me. I ain't never had to deal with affirmative action. I ain't never had to deal with the fair housing situation, never had to deal with the voting rights situation. And then at the same time, you got, okay, hey, the same way that you got the white privilege and the people push their people to use it to their advantage. Okay, everything is geared towards the woman, empowering the woman, because they got the Me Too movement and they got other women movement. So me personally, if I got a strong black woman and she's supportive of me, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to be supportive of her, and I'm going to push her to use everything out there in that world to her advantage, and we going to make it work for our household. So if I got to push her out front for my family to get ahead, then I don't mind being in the back seat, because in the end, we all in the same house, and it's all about our family.
Indeed,
so,
indeed.
But then you spoke on the 3 strikes. Man, hey, they just changed all that. Man, hey, it was in play during the time for that specific structure. But, man, I'm telling you, man, we done seen so much change in today's day and time. Bro, we the only thing holding us back today. Man, we can't blame nobody for the situation we in now but ourselves. Bro, we got everything open to us and available to us. It used to be you couldn't vote because you had felonies. Now you can get that back. You can get out the joint and vote. We still ain't voting. Man, you couldn't get a job because you was a criminal. You had a felony. Now they hiring felons. Hiring you coming out the joint. We still ain't working. I'm just saying that. And it's a choice. It's a choice we choose to make. We're not working because we don't want to work.
That's right. Now, I mean, going back to the working, and I feel like we ain't been taught. I feel like I was fortunate enough to have my dad in my life. You know what I'm saying? My dad was a real man. Like, I'm pretty sure we had kind of had a conversation. Your dad was a real man too. But I know and I see a lot of brothers, you know what I'm saying, raising their children, they leaving their house. They leaving their household to the point that they ain't real man. Like, really the man, you know what I'm saying, supposed to further, you know what I'm saying, his seed. Like, further and develop his seed and showing the rules and principles and morals on what implies or what come with being a man. But going back into what you just left off with, like, we got people, you know what I'm saying, you said that we got the right to vote. It's failing and people still ain't voting. We got the right to vote, work, and people still ain't working. But we looking at our community, looking at our street. The drug dealer or the person making all the money, you know what I'm saying? We see the shiny car, we see the fly women that he might have, like, and I'm speaking in general, cause I mean, materialistic don't entice me, but I'm speaking in general, like, looking at our people, like the mindset of our people. I talk to a lot of young people like that. kind of so I can be a help to them, I gotta understand what they thinking, and they glorify like the lifestyle of the players or the people that flash money. They glorify the old lifestyle. They glorify having the Beamer, Benz, and Bentley. They glorify the big house on the hill. They glorify all of that stuff, like all of that materialistic stuff. So that being said, when they see their dog getting out of prison, even though, you know what I'm saying, they can get to work as a felon, but that job might be a little bit over minimum wage. And they looking at the numbers like, this right here ain't no bring me no bands, or this right here ain't no bring me no women or the women that I desire. And it was just a post. Well, I listened to Second Day Update on the radio. It was the woman. She was the dude was calling about her having a second date with her. The dude worked at McDonald's and all that. He was calling to see why the woman went answering her returning phone call. But kind of find out the woman spoke on it like they called her to get her side of the story. She talking and saying what she felt like. She was like, the reason why I seen Benz in the car, because it was like Thanksgiving. He wanted to go home. Well, he wanted to meet her family for Thanksgiving. He ain't really got no family like that. So he wanted to spend Thanksgiving with her family. So she denied him she didn't want him to go because she was like, she felt comfortable explaining to her mother and her parents that the man worked for McDonald's. So the host was like, so when y'all go out on dates, who pay for everything? She was like, he do. So when y'all go out on, you know what I'm saying, paying food in the house or something, he was asking her, who pay for everything then? She was like, he do. So you know, they asked her like, so you don't have a problem with him spending the money going on dates? You knew he worked at McDonald's and all this, or Burger King went on, but the moment situation, man, just want to meet your family going for Thanksgiving, that was a whole red flag for you. So I fast forward like to this topic, like that right there, that'll mess up a whole person character right there. Like a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, we wear our hearts on our sleeve. The minute somebody crosses our minute, we feel hurt. Like I feel like that's a hurtful situation. You telling me that I'm out here doing good, like I got a good, it ain't no quote unquote good job, but I got a job. I'm working every day. I'm paying for, still doing my due diligence, taking us out on dates and stuff like that. But that's still a problem just for my job, just for me to see your family for Thanksgiving. That's a problem. And a lot of, you know what I'm saying, that's ingrained in our minds. So it's like, a lot of our people like, man, I ain't finna let nobody, we feel embarrassed. Yeah, we feel embarrassed like working as a janitor. We feel embarrassed like doing the bottom of the barrel job. We feel embarrassed like mowing people yards and stuff. Like with some of these jobs, we feel embarrassed. Like, but we want everybody. I see it like they want that CEO type of job or that type of job, but they don't. A lot of us ain't willing to do the groundwork. We want everything right now, and from that right there, like what's your, like how you feel? Like I get what you're saying. Like I definitely know what I'm saying, like a strong black woman. Definitely, I don't mind playing that back seat, you know what I'm saying, if need be. But if feelings on the line, I don't want to be hurt in the process of doing that. I don't want to get scarred in doing that. I don't want to feel like, I don't want to get taught to it like I'm less than a man based on what I'm doing. Like I don't want to wear that emotional baggage that can be put up on my shoulder based off of my place of employment, because it don't quote unquote register with your people, register with your people ideal perspective of success. Like I mean, what's your understanding, bro?
Yeah, I feel you, bro. Hey, yeah, I don't want to be a less than a man too, but at the same time, they go back to what I was saying about perception. Hey, can't no woman make me feel less than a man. I don't care what she do. For real. Man, but yeah, that's the situation, man. But I tell you this, being in the penitentiary all them years, working for free, doing every task in the penitentiary for free, getting $6 a year. Shit, minimum wage sound good right now. I take it.
But I mean, but we like percent, and we like a 5% of our people, man. What I mean by that, like, a lot of us ain't humble. A lot of us don't share our same ideas. A lot of us ain't on our level of processing things. So I'm with you. Like, even in my own understanding, I tell you, 'cause I know how to stack money up. I know how to make money work for me. Like, I know how to take the little and turn it into a lot. But a lot of us ain't been blessed with those same tools and understanding to do the same thing. Like, we been led astray. So getting back, you know what I'm saying? Getting back, I ain't gonna say. I mean, we kind of started where we with right privilege, but where we at right now, like we definitely into the solution phase. Like, where we going from here? Where we going from here? And I feel like, bro, it's a lot of emotional damage that been done to our people, man. Like, psychological stuff. Like, a lot of our people suffering from post-traumatic slave or stress syndrome. Like, it's a lot of health issues and mental diseases and disorders that we dealing with as a people, man. And I feel like to go forward, we gotta focus on healing our people. And I feel like doing stuff like that's why I created this talk, and that's why I created the talk off of experience in another talk conference called radio show that I was part of. I seen that it's therapeutic, like when we able to talk about things and put it all out there, like just to get this stuff off our chest, like these like barbershop conversation. I mean, I got dread. I don't go to no barbershop. I can take my own stuff. So I feel like conversations like these are needed in our community. And the brother from the last call spoke like, okay, good. Like, we can talk to the cows come home, or we can have a good conversation. But where do we go from here? Like, after the call goes out, do we go back to our regular routine, or we continue to, you know what I'm saying, heal our people? Like, and I know, man, being on these front line for our people, man, I'd have been abandoned. I mean, not necessarily. I mean, I hold my own. Like, I stand on my own, but abandoned in a sense. Like, when the brothers say, or sisters say, yeah, man, I support the movement, I'm with the movement, blase, suaze, but abandoned in a sense, I still feel like I'm doing it by myself, but I'm still going to say we. I'm still going to spread that we doing it, not just me. I'm still going to spread that it's a nation of us doing this and not just a group of people. So I'm still optimistic in my understanding and deliver how I'm saying it, but it kind of get weary sometimes, man. It feel like we on their own island by ourselves trying to help our people or help people that don't really want to be helped. But we know in order to, we know the whole and big picture, we got to help our people so they can ultimately help us and ourselves, because we can't do it by ourselves, man. We can't get us out of this situation just thinking alone. We can't do it by ourselves. Like, a lot of brothers, like I was looking at the statistics, man, over 50 or 75% of the people, prison population, a lot of people wrongfully convicted, wrongfully added time to, wrongfully got trumped up charged, increasing their time. And you got also the latter where people in jail because they ain't got no lawyer or no legal representation, and people just abandon them. Like, our own people have been like, oh, he did it. It's crazy, man. Yeah, man. They might best enclose. I mean, we're going. It might be a early show. I mean, we ain't really got too many people chime in, and I mean, we still gonna speak it because somebody might need to hear this. Somebody gonna definitely need to hear this. They're gonna be on YouTube, so when y'all pressing play, y'all might get some out of it that meant for you. You might have needed to hear this. And that being said, like, you know what I'm saying, going for closing remarks, like, if anything, like, going over in the overview of what we done discussed today, beloved brother, like, what would be your takeaway or something you want to spread to the people in light of the topic and some of the conversation that we done came across today?
I just say, man, hey, be the message you bring and just do what you can. Don't worry about nobody else. Just do what you can. One man can't change the world, but one man can make a difference, man. Just do what you can to make a difference in somebody's life. Be for somebody what you wish somebody would have been for you. And that's all I try to do, man.
Indeed, man. But like I said, man, what we were talking about today, white privilege and how it affects people, man, where we stand. They're recapping like white privilege, like white people, people of race being able to do and get things based off of just the color of their skin, like just having access to certain things based off the color of their skin, and recapping like where we stand, and you know what I'm saying, with our black family, or where we stand, and like how do we going forward. Like we definitely got to continue to educate and enlighten our people on what's happening to us. Like I'm gonna continue to stress this in my own demonstration and every platform that I'm able to speak on. Like, man, we can't do that by ourselves. Like this situation, this problem is way bigger than us. It's by design that we in this situation that we in. Like we done got comfortable with being the bottom on the totem pole. We done got comfortable being in our filth and in the bottom of the barrel. We done got comfortable in our own illness and our own ignorance. But that being said, family, it's it's a lot of solution that we can do. We can go about enriching and better developing our people. Better developing our people. Like we definitely need. I remember coming up, we had mentoring programs and stuff like that. Like it ain't really too many mentoring programs other than like getting on the phone talking to your big homie, OG or elder or something like that. Ain't really too many programs geared toward us. And a lot of times I hear people talk about the Jews, you know what I'm saying, doing business with themselves, or the Chinese doing business with themselves, or Mexican doing, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. Like they understand group economic, but if y'all look closely, like the Mexican, you know what I'm saying, they had a King Sierra and a lot of these programs that they, as a group, as a culture, celebrate when they people are the youngest, you know what I'm saying, getting into adulthood. Like we look at the Jews, they do the bar mitzvah. Like they celebrating. Like if we can bring back those type of programs that we can grow with our people. We continue to like growing with our people in our own schools, our own programs. Like eventually, like we're gonna spend money within that circle. We're gonna spend money within the old people that we see. Like it's just simple networking. Like, but we gotta grow. We gotta grow each other to look at each other like family. We don't look at each other like family no more. We look at each other more like strangers than anything. And also, we were speaking about Black Wall Street in Philadelphia with the Move 9. Like, both of those two cities and two instances, the government dropped a bomb on its own people, its own constituents within this border of what we call America, based off black people rising up, becoming economically empowered. They dropped the bomb on these two cities because black people were rising and thriving. And the brother, our beloved brother Lord Buck, just saying, in the present time, like we got a lot of access, a lot of resources and stuff in our faith that we can utilize to better become nation builders and stuff like that. Like that's a lot of access to it. Like the brother, he made a eloquent point. Like in the present time, they made it legal. They made it legal and rightfully for felons to vote. A lot of us still ain't vote. They made it legal and ethical for people with felonies to get a job. A lot of us ain't working. We'll rather do what we see the Jones do, or we'll rather go out here on these quick licks and end up in the penitentiary, you know what I'm saying? Or end up tricking ourselves out of these streets. But man, it's a lot of work that we got to do as a people, man. I want to say something, like even with our veterans, like some of our veterans fought in the World War I. Fought in World War II, they came back And shit, man, they ain't really want to get these people even a pot to piss in. You got a lot of our veterans on the street, homeless, and a lot of them, I think, with that in the Vietnam War, a lot of elders suffering from like that Agent Orange crisis, like suffering from sleep paralysis, and like it's a lot of mental illnesses within our community that we don't even address or we don't even really care about addressing. I like to challenge people on this too. A lot of people like to say on nation building. I ain't speaking about me. I'm speaking in general. Like we discuss nation building, but we got to break down what is a nation. A nation is a group of people that existing or coexisting for the betterment of the whole. Like that encompass like the whole, like Margaret Garvey broke it down, like the science, technology, energy, and math. That even the health. That can all of these components are what is required in a nation. Like you gotta have the infantry, like the army. You gotta have the people dealing with the health of all and the condition of the people. You gotta have the people in education, educating the people. You gotta have the jobs and work for the people. And you gotta have the spiritual aspect of the nation which binds the nation like glue. Outside of that, like it's good to know history, like it's important. I ain't gonna say it's good, it's important to know the history, but in a lot of group movements that I see, that's the only thing they focus on is the history, man. Like, oh, we were kings and queens before slavery. I agree, we were, but if we just focusing on the history, we gonna miss the whole point. Like we gotta deal with the whole education spectrum. We just can't focus on the history. History is just one subject. We got to deal with the energy, science, technology, and math. Like we got to deal with the whole collage of education. We gotta educate our people now. Even we need lawyers. We need lawyers in the nation. We need legal representation, understanding UCC, Universal Commercial Code, like maritime law, universal law, and you know what I'm saying, law of the land. Like all of these elements, we gotta know. But we are coming to almost the end of the show. I just want to wrap it up on that. And I was to the one that I chime in to right now. If y'all wanted to give y'all, you know what I'm saying, overview on what y'all heard tonight, or y'all want to add to the conversation, y'all welcome to do so. Just peace and blessing. Come on in and speak from the heart. Outside of that, like we finna get ready to wrap this thing up, man. They're gonna be on YouTube. Y'all gonna just Google. Well, I ain't going to say Google, just search on YouTube the Lord's Business radio show, and you'll be able to find all of the episodes that we did previously up until now. But, brother, you were coming in? Mm-hmm.
Let's not all speak at one time.
Exactly, man. Well, man, it's been another powerful show, man. We made it through it. Through there.
Yeah, my name is De Niro. I'm Buck Brother, man. I like just tuning in, just listening, and getting the knowledge. Even though, like, I don't just get my feedback at times. Cause a lot of times y'all be speaking, and instead, not having an opportunity to reiterate on something because the subject has been flow. You flow so much, then the subject can change. So I just like listening, what I'm saying? I like just being inside the next person's mind and things like that. And, I'm just glad for this. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful for this opportunity. For y'all, too.
Yeah, we get a thing, brother. I definitely appreciate it. They're the brother that do the country music, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We definitely appreciate you chiming in, man. We're gonna continue to do this, man. I feel like I done seen, like, did the background on what I'm at. Like, I'm part of the movement called Power Movement. It was a movement started by a lot of GDs. A lot of GDs was in the movement. And
Lord,
yeah, peace and love, brother. How you doing?
Mate, I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Yeah, we getting ready to wrap everything up. We been building on white privilege today. We just almost coming into a close, man. Definitely appreciate you chiming in, but the full episode gonna be on YouTube. But I was just getting a spiel on even on the importance of why I'm doing it. Like back to what I was saying, I was in part of the movement, positive movement. I was the only Vice Lord in this movement, pop movement, but I had just lost my brother in 2014. Like, I was thinking, in my mind, I was thinking about retaliation, going out here and murdering somebody. Like, my mind was somewhere everywhere else. Like, I had a hole in my chest. My little brother just got killed. So I found this movement. Like, I was just looking on Facebook. Also, I do photography. I seen, like, they were just doing a rally. Like, in my mind, I was like, man, you know what, I ain't never been about no rally or something. I ain't agree with it. Like, people protesting and stuff. I went never for that. But that particular incident was a move. I seen a flyer for a rally right down the street from my house, so I went. And what tell me, I seen that it was the movement was started by brothers in jail. Like, a lot of brothers in jail started the movement, like they were on Crane Chain on the outside, like with people getting people to do rally protests and stuff like that, like stopping the violent movement. And they just kind of touched my spirit, so I kind of got absorbed into that movement. And I seen they had a radio, like a blog talk radio, and I just seen hearing the people call in and being in the middle. Then at a late eventually I started hosting my own show on their program, and I just kind of seen the importance of people having a platform to be able to talk or be able to get their energy out, or be able to get their opinions out, because a lot of times in our community we might be working 2 and 3 jobs. Like, a lot of times we don't really have time, like us as black man, we don't really, like, with the workload, especially we out here getting it legally and legitimately, like, a lot of times we ain't really got the time and means to just go to a mosque or go to a masjid or go to church or know what I'm saying, be among people, or even go. Sometimes people don't even have time to go. But that being said, like, being able to be on the call just to hear what's going on, get the business, and, know what I'm saying, get some type of nourishment for your spirit, like, that's a powerful platform. I feel like that more healthy. Like, we need that, like, a lot, especially in this generation. Like, we need to be able to get our ideas, get our points out. Like, we definitely got to bounce our ideas out on one another, and I definitely feel like that way it inspired me and led me to orchestrate or create the call. I feel like we gotta put the EPs together. We gotta have these conversations like this, these meetings of the mind. But I just wanted to give a background on that, and, you know what I'm saying, closing up on the topic, we were speaking about white privilege, man, and how that affect us and where can we go forward. Like, and we broke down a whole lot of topics, and I know you kind of missed part of Lord Osiris, but just a question to you, like, where do you stand, or how do you see white privilege in our society? How do you feel like we can help educate, or help better our situation when we're talking about white privilege in our society?
Pardon about it. I apologize for getting in late. I was on a conference call dealing with my little boys. So y'all, please forgive me, man. Please forgive me.
No, I know. I'm asking you a general question. It's all good, bro.
All right. No, man, white privilege. I don't think the thing that this society is constantly dominating us on is that in white privilege they can come together. They've unified and created a structure to keep certain people out and certain people in. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing about it, today one of the brothers had called me. I asked him, he had a job at Budweiser, and I was like, "Damn, what happened to the job at Budweiser?" He said, "Man, the Mexicans." And I said, "Bro, you can't get mad at the Mexicans. They doing what the laws of nature require, self-preservation. You can't give it." Then he was like, "Bro, but we all humans." I said, that don't mean anything. That in the reality of things, that the law says self-preservation. You preserve for your kind. You know what I'm saying? So with saying that, the same thing with white privileges. How can you get mad at the people that are mobilizing and organizing to preserve the existence of their future? You can't get mad at them. The people you got to get mad at is the people that are not doing it, which is us. You know what I'm saying? So we can cry, we can complain, we can try to talk about it, and you know what I'm saying, and come to some understanding why they're doing it, but that's not going to get us nowhere. They're going to continue to do it. So we as a people, we have to start coming together. We have to start doing that. And yeah, we're doing it. We've tried, but
we have to be more forceful about it. Like you create this platform to speak. The problem with us is that a lot of our stuff is not. A lot of people don't know, so we have to have platforms. We have to put ourselves in positions to create these type of platforms so that we can remind the people of what we need to do. You know what I'm saying? And you're right. Our everyday struggles takes us away from the things that we need to do. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean that organizations like the organization we're a part of, we can mobilize and create the avenues for the people that don't have the time to be heard can be heard. You know what I'm saying? And and again, I mean, they're doing it. So we have to figure out how can we as a people work together? What do we as a people need to do to work together? You know what I'm saying? And we need to figure out our common cause, and we need to rally around that common cause, or we need more people in position to create platforms so that we can be heard, or that other people that are not hearing us, we can reach out to them. You know what I'm saying? And because I think that's the biggest, you know, even the Bible, it says our people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, you know, and I think that's the basis of it, is that we don't see it going down, so we feel like it's not happening. You know what I'm saying? We feel like it's not happening because we might not be in them areas. You know, we might not be in them areas to see other black organizations mobilizing, creating systems that's going to sustain them. But they are. The Nation of Islam is doing it. Then you got the being Yahweh being, his movement, the Black Hebrew Israelite movement. Then you got the brothers in South Carolina, the Yoruba Society, the Ifa Society. They got their own community. So we have people that are doing it. It's just that we're not in them particular areas to see it. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, the white privilege thing, it's a war. It's a battle. And the more we get people on a platform to explain so they can see it, and then they can say, man, they are doing that. And then that's going to create a consciousness to where we have people like ourselves, people in the situation like ourselves, want to pull together more and start organizing and doing them things that's necessary to pull our resources together so that we can create our own society where we can benefit.
Indeed, bro. I like the energy you was just coming in, and something in my spirit just let me give you that task right here. Like, I want you to, I know you might not be able to chime in on the next time we call in, or you might be late, but my spirit is like from where you coming from, and I can just tell and hear it in your voice, you kind of hands-on. But the spirit want me to, I want you to chat, like, we need a topic. Like, I feel like I want you to inbox me or send me a topic, or you something feel like that a lot of us need to talk about it, man. Lord Buck gonna kind of reword it, and then we're going to put that on the next show. That'll be 2 weeks from now. And we'll just kind of build on that. Like, we need a lot of topics that'll touch people, that'll make them want to hear. So once we get them in, like, we'll have a lot. And I feel like they're hearing how you coming in. Like, I want to put that on your plate. Like, you can send like 2 or 3 or something, man. Lord Buck going kind of chop them up and go with one of them and see where we go from there. But I feel like you where you at, how you hands on, just hearing how you talking, and you're a student, you're a seeker. I can hear that in your voice. You're an observer too. I mean, that's something you can do for the family.
Yeah, I stay in contact with Buck. So that's mighty, bro. You got it. You got an email?
No, I mean, if you can send it to Buck, then that'll be fine too.
Okay, that'll work out. I do got a topic that I want to drop, and I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna send it to Buck so he can go over it, or we can go over it together, and then we can shoot from there.
Absolutely, man. We getting ready to close out, man, like we do it last time. We're gonna close out with an alpha tier. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most beneficent, thee do we worship, thine aid we seek. Show us the straight way, the way of those whom have bestowed thy grace, the way of those whom portion is not of wrath and have gone not astray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.